Welcome back to the Nerdrotic Podcast. My name is Gary Buechler. I live in San Francisco. I can't even say it right now. I'm live in San Francisco. Man, that's the second one I've started off screwed up. What the hell? You know what? Because I was thinking about Ghost World. We were trying to get on for Ghost World because he's like, I've got responsibilities. This is your responsibility, Ghost World, watching us. So I continue. My name is Gary Buechler. I am live in San Francisco, California. I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and down in San Diego is my good friend, my pal, my co-host, Dennis Bithoulkas. What is up, Dennis?
I'm only semi-live down in San Diego, so I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good. Yeah, you can never pass up a good pancreas, right?
Exactly.
That was fun, licking the pancreas.
Well, you always like a pancreas when you pulled it out from somebody's body.
Oh, is it like good luck?
Hey, DJ Bowman, thank you for subscribing. She's a newly subscribed gal and just said hello.
Hello. Welcome. I don't know if this is the first time you're watching us, but thank you very much. And we are covering the X-Files tonight. Episode 9, Nothing Lasts Forever. I thought the title was going to be leading into eating, like, kind of the end of the show. But let's not bury the lead here. It didn't say series finale at the end.
It did not say series finale. But then again, remember, Chris Carter has already come out and said that he can see life in this thing without Mulder and Scully.
I can too, if you would have introduced a couple of good characters way earlier and gotten us used to them. I mean, if they want to restart it with Buffy, Juliet, or Charlotte, or what was her name? Juliet. Who kind of looked like Juliette Lewis in a weird way.
What about Einstein?
And I do like Einstein. I don't know about Arrow's brother though.
I don't know about him either. His cousin, his
brother, his relation, whatever.
His sister, brother, his sister. Wait, that's a different thing altogether.
Yeah, it is. So, but Einstein, I like. I thought she was pretty good, but they're gone. Maybe they'll show up in the next episode. But I don't know. I can see the X-Files going on with Chris Carter maybe being an executive producer with hands off and let like somebody else come in with
hopefully.
But I like this episode tonight. I thought it was a good episode. But again, I thought it was kind of going to lead into the end. You know, the title was a little misleading, but not for the actual show. And it was pretty gross. They've decided to dial it up, and the kind of the things we were, or at least I was bitching about earlier, they've done the last 2 episodes, which is kind of modernized the X-Files, made it a little darker, kept that humor, and took the tongue out of cheek a little bit and stopped being a parody of itself and started taking itself seriously, which it did again. And I liked it quite a bit, Dennis.
Almost like they were kind of listening to our podcast.
They should.
They should. I mean, really, yeah. But it was kind of like they were listening to us, and they did modernize it quite a bit. And also they're playing with the characters now being older. And that I'm kind of liking that as well. They're finally dealing with that, of these characters being together for, what is it now, 30 years, 20 years, and having this relationship. And they haven't gone anywhere in their careers, really. They've kind of been pigeonholed, and it's because of each other. And we'll touch on that at the end, but still, they've kind of finally brought that up, and it's like, okay, nice. Finally, you guys mentioned the elephant in the room.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, Hollywood, so many times when you come back from a sequel or something, the people who had gotten together by the end of the movie had broken up for some reason. And they did that here, but I love how they showed the familiarity of kind of like an old married couple. There's something there. It's hard to explain unless you've been in a long relationship like I have. And theirs has been longer than mine. Well, no. I've known my wife for a really freaking long time. So yeah, that was kind of cool to see, and they did it very well. But yeah, we start out with a little surgery, Dennis.
Yeah, and it wasn't elective surgery either.
No. No.
Yeah, we've got a little surgery with some guys cutting out some body parts, and they're taking out a heart here, a lung there, some pancreas, and the pancreas might be bad. So you got to lick it first to make sure that it's tasting right.
Oh, okay. Also, before we totally get started, we have to acknowledge a super chat that we got.
Yes, we do. Coral. Coral, Coral, was that you?
Thanks for the super chat, Coral.
Coral Davis. Carl Davis gave us $1.99. Thank you very much. Sorry, that was my really bad Rick Grimes there that I was doing.
I thought it was pretty good. It's better than mine. So there you go. Yeah, and also, yeah, super chat is available. We also have a Patreon, nerdrotic.com or patreon.com/nerdrotic. And we also have a website, nerdrotic.com. Check it out. Plugs over. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, so we had these two guys doing surgery, or not surgery. They're just vivisecting some guy. They were taking out all his organs, putting him in bags and in a cooler. And we see a woman stalking these guys, and she says, "Those that love me, I will deliver." And it's kind of a weird phrase that she's saying. And we see her go down into the room because she's watching them from outside the building. She comes in, and as one of the guys is leaving with body parts, she ends up attacking him with a metal rod, this giant metal rod, and she kills him. Comes in where the doctors are, kills one, stabs him, and the other guy gets away with one of the coolers, and she stakes him basically with the asking him where the others are, and of course he says he doesn't know.
Yeah, he's not part of it, and yeah, she kills him right there, and it's very Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah,
and I have to mention this real quick because this was kind of big news. You brought it up to me. Was it last night? About Fox being open to? Was it Fox being open to?
Yeah, it was the Fox head at South by Southwest. He was talking about. He said, Josh isn't doing anything, and if he's got an idea, we're open to having Buffy come back for a reunion, because reunions are the big thing right now.
Yeah, all for that. And they did a nice little semi homage to Buffy the Vampire Slayer, except more of a religious zealot type of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had like I don't know, YA action teen show up and kill the doctor. And yeah, after cracking that cracking open of the chest was not, again, I'm kind of squeamish. I don't know why I watch Ash vs. Evil Dead, but I cringe half the time, but maybe that's why I like it. But yeah, that was pretty gross. Pretty gross. They're taking out the organs. She took some and left some in a cooler that says "I will repay," and that's where we get the credits going. And then Mulder and Scully are on the case.
Actually, did you see what the words were this time at the end? I want to be beautiful.
I want to be beautiful. At the end of the credits? No.
Yeah.
I always forget to look because I just motor through them to watch the show.
So that was what today's was I want to be beautiful. And so, yeah, we see Dana at the church, and she's basically lighting candles and whatnot. And then Mulder and Scully go to the murder scene. And this is actually kind of funny because, we get Mulder at his crankiest, I guess you could say. He runs into some other agents, and they're like, come on, why are the DC guys here? We're the local people. And he's like, because it's, we decided to come in and take a look at it. He goes, yeah, we know your MO. You guys come in, you muck up a case, and you take it over and turn it on its head. And that's when Mulder starts noticing about the staking. He goes, it's kind of interesting that the person used metal instead of wood, and it would have been a wood of birch, cypress, and something else. Basically, the wood's
mahogany. No, sorry.
the wood's used in the crucifixion. And the guys just turn away, and she goes, "You did that on purpose, didn't you?" He goes, "Maybe."
Yeah, it's fun. That's the second episode in the row. He was old Mulder. He started ripping off all his knowledge about, if they were looking for, basically saying if they were looking for vampires. It was weird that they stay. Yeah, and it's interesting what she was using. By the way, I thought that was very cool. That was a nice little touch. We'll just tell you, it was pieces of the church. She was using pieces of the church to do this. So yes. I thought they were going to go. This wasn't very supernaturally. This was kind of. I guess in the realm of home a little bit, just kind of dealing with the, still science fiction, believe me, with the,
a sci-fi take on vampires.
Yeah.
And I do like that when Mulder and Scully are discussing him with his bifocals, and then him going, "Did you cut your hair?"
Yeah. She's all, "Are you kidding me?" Yeah, I kind of took this episode as maybe Chris Carter's. I don't know who wrote it, but
Uh, it was actually somebody else that wasn't within the that realm of people. So, and I
yeah,
just
well, Chris Carter heads the writing room, so I mean he sets out the plot for everybody, and
Karen Nielsen.
yeah, and it was kind of a little bit of a quote unquote love letter to Hollywood, a little bit, especially old Hollywood, but just what we do for beauty. And they also, I meant to look up the article, but there was that whole thing a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, about if you get blood transfusions from a younger person, it brings back your vitality a little bit. God, I forgot where I saw that
Well,
now.
yeah, that's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Like they used to do that on The Simpsons with Mr. Burns when he was
Yeah,
getting
no,
blood
they like
transfusion.
did it in real life. I forgot where I saw
Yeah.
it. That was like on CNN, but they did find there were some scientific findings where if you get the blood of somebody younger, it does, and so definitely that is where they got this from, and just times it by 10 with some organs and in a blender and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, but well, we'll get to what the doctor did in a little bit here because it was kind of disgusting actually. So, um, but anyway, we get we show the girl who was doing the staking at home with her crying mother, and they cut to a photo of a woman who has a lot of acne, and it looks like some facial disfiguration as well. And then we cut to this apartment where it looks like her sister, but only not deformed, putting body parts in a blender and making a nice little smoothie for herself and some others that are laying around on an apartment floor.
yeah, looking like a vampire den.
Yeah, pretty much. And they're watching an old TV show, an old sitcom, The Barbara Beaumont Show. And there's a guy who's in bed with a woman attached to his back. I don't know if they were conjoined twins or not, saying, "This is my favorite show or my favorite episode. Even though it's 50 years old, I still like it."
And then you see it's her, and she's mouthing every word to the episode as she's drinking her little blood organ smoothie.
Yes.
Here's one of the articles on it, by the way. I found it on my phone. It's questionable young blood transfusions offered in U.S. as anti-aging remedy. And this is from MIT Technology Review. A startup called Ambrosia will fill your veins with the blood of younger people and empty your pockets for $8,000. So see, I knew I saw this somewhere. Freaking sick. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, and DJ Bowman actually mentions the bloody mustache too that Barbara had, like a milk mustache.
Yeah, that's probably going to be our thumbnail tonight.
That was actually pretty good. So yeah, we see that. What was I going to say here? Oh, actually, I wanted to go back a little bit to the guys that were murdered. One was a doctor who had been disbarred for dispensing too many drugs, and the other one was a 23-year-old Russian low-level mobster. So we knew that these people were not on the up and up.
Nope, the Russians. It's always the Russians.
Yeah, and of course, the guy that they had harvested was a 23-year-old guy that was missing from the gym. So they were taking people from the gym there. So back to the people in the hotel room or the apartment there. So we find out that what was it? Oh, sorry. We go to a commercial after that. After she says, when she's mouthing all the lines to the episode, and we had her help me out here. I just kind of missed what I got in my notes there.
I got to catch up on, man. You're killing me, man.
All right.
So, yeah, they come. Yeah, great.
Yeah, I just lost my place there. Sorry, I had a big space for some reason. I don't know why.
You're writing. I understand why. So yeah, they come back. Don't they come back to Mulder?
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. So Mulder and Scully basically back at the church, and they're talking about Scully when she first got religion, and her brother when she was about 4 years old. Charlie had a rheumatic fever, and her mother would make her get on her knees and pray every night. And she says, of course, the first couple of nights she was praying for a puppy because she's 4 years old. So And of course, she got one on that Christmas. So that's when she was, said that's when she started to believe, supposedly. But that wasn't really the case. We find out later what happened. But Mulder notices as they leave the church there that there's bars missing from the fence of the church that looks strangely enough like the things that were used to kill the both guys.
Yeah, we see Juliet walk in the church too. She walks right by Mulder.
Well, she has an argument with the priest. So not an argument really. She is spouting a lot of Bible verses to him.
Some scripture.
Some scripture.
Old Testament stuff.
Yeah, that she is going to get her revenge. And the priest, of course, is telling her not to do it. So we see that Kayla is attached to Dr. And we found out his name is Dr. Louvanis, Dr. Randolph Louvanis. And Barbara is kind of pissed off that she didn't get her heart and lungs. All she got was her liver and kidneys. So she wanted some more. And as punishment, she ends up killing poor Kayla, who's attached to Dr. Louvanis.
Yeah,
she slits her throat.
We find out Dr. Louvanis is 85 years old, and so is Barbara. And the kids in this quote-unquote vampire den were all deformed in some way or another. So, and they didn't fully explain this, but the doctor did something to heal them. But it was basically he was calling them the seeds. So he was doing some procedure to them to just fatten them up. They were the veal. That's why they're in dark. There was no light that got into this place at all. Nobody went outside ever.
Yeah, he said they were incubating. That's the reason why they need to go fully through the process before they could actually harvest them.
Yeah. So and Barbara was talking about, why can't we just kill one of them? And he's like, you don't kill the seeds. You don't kill the trees. You get the fruit from the trees. Yeah, which was sick. And when he was attached to Kayla, I couldn't help but think, it's not related at all, but I don't know how many people thought of the human centipede out there. I did. And I try to forget that as much as I can. It was just because two people were attached to each other. That's all.
Yeah, I'm lucky I never saw that movie.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
There's some things you cannot unsee.
That's the reason why I didn't see it. Yeah, but so after she cuts Kayla loose from Dr. Louvanis there and tells him to go and get her organs, we see Mulder and Scully go to the girl's house. And the girl, by the way, who is hunting these people is her sister's Olivia, we find out. And her mother is Josephine. And she is, and it doesn't say, oh my God, really? We never really found out her name, did we? Or did we? No, Juliet. There we go. Juliet.
Yeah, Juliet's her name. I mentioned it earlier. I was just calling her Buffy until we found out her name. So,
yeah. And so they're going to question. They want to know why, what happened to her sister who disappeared 2 months ago, and she says that she's with the cult. She left of her own accord, and that Mulder and Scully don't need to look into it, and shuts the door on them, basically.
Yeah, which sets Mulder off, and says something about his gut doesn't need glasses. So yeah, and obviously she's gonna go off, and they're still trying to track down like where these organs are coming from, and they find out they threw a building manager. They find out, how did they? I never caught how they found out about the building manager. That
there was a tracker in the cooler. They said they tracked it down.
Okay, and that's how they found Barbara Beaumont's name, and. They didn't realize it was an actress, and just Mulder started Googling her and noticed that she hasn't really done much since 1967, joined an aging clinic. And that's where we find out like what Dr. Louvanis was up to. He had an aging clinic or anti-aging clinic, kind of like this one I just read about there. So yeah, they totally pulled that one from the headlines, which is good. It's still good. That's what X-Files used to do all the time. They used to actually rip off, like I said, Art Bell all the time, which is fine. But he's, Art Bell doesn't do stuff anymore. So we also got in the beginning, we heard, I can't remember his name now. The guy who was in season 10, the radio show, who was like the Alex Jones dude.
I don't know.
The guy used to do Talk Soup.
Hale, Joel McHale.
Yes. I met him at the Christmas party.
That's right. I remember you talking
where he was in Spider-Man 2. Yeah.
And just before they actually go and meet the super there, Barbara, is on her own with the seeds, and she says how much she's really hungry. She has eaten Kayla at this point, and Kayla has been deprived of all the nutrients. So she says it was like eating fast food and just doesn't fill her up. And she's looking at the feeds.
She's tripping because she's starting to. Well, she thinks she's seeing her wrinkles, and she's starting to show her age.
And one of the guys decides to offer himself up, Warren, and she goes, "Oh, Warren, you're so sweet." And you know what? I don't want you to do this, but I've got a treat for you. And she decides to she says, "I sung this on the Sonny and Cher show in 1975, and they said it was the highest rated show that they ever had, even bigger than Muhammad Ali." She's throwing out all these, all these names that pretty much most of these kids don't know who these people are, for the most part. I mean, and she starts singing, "There's Got to Be a Morning After."
Yes.
This is probably one of the most brutal scenes.
Sing it, Dennis, right now.
I'm not gonna sing it because my singing voice is not very good, and I'm not gonna torture you guys.
It really isn't. Oh, she also was. It was bigger than Charo.
Yes, you know
Charo is you're as old as us.
Hoochie coochie,
hoochie coochie. She's still alive, right?
She is, man. She's still going strong, man. She's I think she's still on the Vegas circuit, as a matter of fact, doing shows.
Man, so I got to see a Charo show. If she's doing a show, next time I go, I am going. I am there.
So they end up killing Warren and basically eating him, devouring him, making some smoothies while she continues to sing. There's Got to Be a Morning After, and not that well. I'm going to say she wasn't singing it all that well, which makes me kind of question what those ratings were like.
Yeah. So Scully and Mulder get to the building manager, and he tells the whole story that he's been there for 7 years. He's never seen the owner. They have some weird dumbwaiter system, so he knows there's other people on the 4th floor, and he knows there's a building manager, but he just collects a check and just makes repair stuff, nothing big. And they do point out, like, isn't that odd? And he's like, dude, it's the Bronx, man, whatever, it's money, who cares?
Yeah, it's like quite a bit different than Jessica Jones.
Yeah, quite a bit.
I mean, with Jessica Jones, she knew who the super was, had enough time to have sex with him a couple times, meet his kid, save his kid.
Yeah. See, she is.
Yeah, exactly. So Mulder and Scully go on up to the 4th floor to go and take a look at Barbara Beaumont's apartment. And as they go in and they meet her, they don't believe it's her because she doesn't look like she's 85 years old, of course. And she's in the dark, and she says, well, that's part of it. It's part of the process. Light's really bad for you. And as Mulder is looking around, she screams, and that's when the rest of the acolytes or the seeds come out and start attacking both Mulder and Scully.
And and they throw Scully down the dumbwaiter, which I was waiting for somebody to go down the dumbwaiter because they went as far as to introduce it to us. So
they had to point
going down. So Scully falls. Mulder gets pummeled by a bunch of weak kids who've been inside a room for So he starts finally pulls his gun out, but he gets saved by Juliet. Comes in and just kills Barbara right there. Like, there is no lead up to it. There is no fight. It's just Barbara's dead. That's it.
That was
quick.
It was kind of weird. For all the interesting things they have in this episode, they also had some really weird moments of startling, not startling, but kind of just start and stops where you're just kind of like, where the hell did that come from? And that was one of them where it's just like, she just pops in and just and kills Barbara.
Yep.
And so Mulder goes down to the basement to go and find Scully, and he sees Dr. Levin's, the doctor attached to Olivia now, which is Juliet's sister. So we got Dr. Louvanis attached to her, and he thinks that that the doctor's holding her hostage. And then he realizes that they're attached at the back, which is really disgusting. We saw the surgery happen, and essentially what they did is they attached the aortic valve, and I know what this is now, the descending aortic valve, to him. So basically they put this little valve system in, so he's basically siphoning off her blood is what's going on, using her as a human blood bag.
Kind of like Mad Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only a lot grosser.
Yeah. And not as racy.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah,
desert.
exactly.
Yeah.
And again, it's Juliet comes out of nowhere, just bonks him on the head with a wrench,
Yep.
knocks him out, and tells Juliet that she's there for her, or tells her sister Olivia that she's there for her. And Mulder finds Scully. She had fallen down onto some decades worth of garbage, and she smelled like a piece of trash, as DJ Bowman says.
Yeah, well, yes, and well, and the resolution, like usually they sit on this a little bit and they like talk about what they've learned this episode. Like, wow, that was, the price you pay for wanting to be young. And get that? You know what I'm talking about? But no, they went into setting up the next episode, which is fine. They could have kind of done that through a bunch of episodes this season. So it's really weird how they had a bunch of standalones in between this two-parter, which of course is called My Struggle 4.
Yeah.
I hope it's as good as they're setting up. But yeah, it was just kind of weird. But I did like the conversation they had at the end. It was another one of those old couple moments, which was really nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. But then we had that weirdness where, Scully finally says what that leap of faith was that she had. And she whispers into Mulder's ear what she wants out of all of this. Because Mulder even said, he goes, I kind of wish you had left and gone and had a life. Basically, had the dog, your sister survived, you had married some, famous brain surgeon and had some kids and all this stuff, but you stayed. And, and basically he blamed himself for her mediocrity. And she's like, no, don't ever blame yourself for that. And that was kind of nice seeing that. And that's what I was getting at earlier about talking about that. And it's like, where was this the rest of the season? You could have built a little bit more of this in to the episodes, peppered it throughout the season, and built a little bit more a nicer stuff with the characters. And then she whispers what she wants out of all this to Mulder's ear, and he says, I've always wondered how this was going to end. Very cryptically. That's the last line of the entire episode. And I was like,
and I don't think we're ever going to know what it is. It's going to be one of those things. I wonder what Scully whispered to Mulder.
It seemed very contrived, definitely.
I think this season they were just kind of slowly getting back together because she mentioned she left. So I think they have peppered in some stuff, not like them being an established couple or even talking about the relationship, but and maybe they what they need to do. They need to tell us that they haven't been talking for a while, like between these seasons, because that's obviously what was happening, but they didn't say anything. So maybe they were just working together, but not really talking, which people can do. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Yeah. Again, I like this episode. I think I've liked most of the season. There's only a couple episodes I haven't liked. So I think it was definite improvement on season 10 for sure. The relationship seems more genuine. They seem happier to be there at work and like they're appreciating what they have. So, and it stopped being this farewell tour, because obviously it's going to continue in some sense. I don't know with Mulder and Scully, but hopefully they just retire them. If you want to start out the X-Files, then like retire them, and maybe once in a great while when you need the answer of some question, you go back to Mulder or call Mulder or something,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But it could continue if they find two compelling characters that people care about. And
they'd have to really, though, how would they bring them in though? If you're not having Mulder and Scully introduce them, would you just start out the X-Files just completely new, or that'd probably be the best way.
I would just start out fresh. Totally.
Yeah.
Start out anew. I would like, you make it in like a semi future, like 5 years from now. Like there's been no X-Files for 5 years. And like
aliens have taken over at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the chat, man.
Yeah.
Let's get to the chat.
So I was gonna say here, DJ Bowman said, does she want to die happy? Has she been dead all along?
Yeah, I suppose we're going to find that out because they did mention briefly in the beginning of this episode about the planes flying over the chemtrails and everybody being, dosed with something, some of the alien illness. So it feels like what we saw at the end of season 10 was a premonition. Okay, and we haven't gotten up to that yet, but then we haven't seen any of Einstein or the other guy. So I have no idea what's going on, to be honest with you. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I'm sure they'll explain it next episode. But there's definitely some kind of time weirdness going on.
Yeah, there is a time dilation. There's a lot of weirdness that's been going on in this season. So I'm hoping they're explaining it here in this last episode. And I hope they don't rush through it either. I hope they actually take their time and explain, not just kind of throw an offhand remark of like, oh yeah, and by the way, this is what happened. Okay.
Is it just a 1 hour episode?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know. Let's go up. We had a lot of people talking before we got on.
Yes, we did. So Ghost World said, not great. I did enjoy the bit at the end with Mulder and Scully. And does anyone else think that the vampire hunter chick would be a pretty good spin-off character?
I think so if she wasn't in jail. But yes,
yeah,
I did like her scenes. I thought she was very good. And I love using the pieces of the church. And yes, there's definite spin-off material there. That's what made me think of the Buffy reunion. I'm like, oh man, they should totally do it. But I don't think Fox should do it. I think it should be Netflix or something.
Yeah, it definitely needs to go onto cable. You can't go onto Fox. Penn Farm Girl says, once again, I'm torn. I liked it, but I feel like I wanted something more for the next to last episode.
The penultimate episode, definitely. This episode, if it was like the third or fourth of this season, would have been great, probably.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. I mean, we kind of feel like they squandered a couple episodes in this season when they really could have they could have really made this the farewell tour without having to go the silly route that they went on a couple of episodes.
Yeah, and they decided to get serious at the end, which is good. I mean, better late than never. But there was a lot of wasted time on this season. And in season 10. I think almost the entire one was wasted, but that's just me.
And Penn Farm Girl says another season wouldn't necessarily have Mulder and Scully, and I've been through that before. I'm hoping, but after hearing Gillian Anderson isn't even coming back to American Gods, I'm feeling pretty discouraged.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's just a negotiation technique. Just give her more money than New Coveney. It's fine. I don't even think he cares. But maybe she is done. She's done this before. She's gone off to do stage before and just had enough with it. And yeah, her being gone from American Gods sucks. Totally sucks. But they got a halfway decent showrunner, and it could continue well. It could. It's I hope so. I really like that show. You got an alarm going on in your background?
There's some car alarm that's going on.
It comes in a little bit. Doesn't you can't?
Yeah, sorry.
It's all right.
It keeps going on and off, on and off. That's why I keep rolling my eyes every now and then.
I was just kind of used to you rolling your eyes. I didn't care.
I want to go out and murder the car that we have out there. Ghost World says, and Gary's wearing his conspiracy shirt.
I am. I'm wearing it for the rest of the X-Files season. I'd love to break out my conspiracy shirt, but I did have to wash it, so couldn't wear it all the time.
And Ghost World also says, I can see life without Mulder and Scully for X-Files on life support. That is. Yeah.
And then their chest being cracked open, and then it dies, just like the beginning of this episode. Yeah, I don't think. I think it needs to be in different hands. I think it needs a complete fresh look. Chris Carter's had his chance. He's had Mulder and Scully back. They look great. They don't look old, okay, and they look older. And you could have done something really great. And instead, we got some damn good episodes, but we didn't get a great season.
No. And DJ Bowman, actually, this is not a bad idea. She says, I always wish Samantha and William to become the new partners. You can still do that.
They could do it, yeah. Bring back Krychek.
5 years. Bring back Krychek.
Bring back Krychek.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what?
Also, my computer froze up there for a second.
You're fine.
There we go.
I can see you.
Yeah.
Somebody talked about Mulder having bifocals and progressives.
Progressives, exactly.
Shit, he's older than me. I've had him for so long now.
DJ Bowman also says, what would happen if Cher found a way to stay young forever? Who says she hasn't?
Exactly.
There's a reason why you don't see her anymore. It's because she's out there bathing in the blood of babies. So,
oh man, if it could keep you young, they would have been doing it.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. We would have heard about it or something. Or maybe they still are. There's lots of conspiracies about that.
And DJ Bowman also says, Penn Farm Girl, I've never accepted that Samantha died. She's still going to be found in a spaceship someday. Sorry, forever in denial. Because they're talking about bringing Samantha back because we never really saw her die.
Nope. Well, I mean, it's the comic book logic of well, I'm glad comic book logic has moved into everything now, especially genre. That if you don't see a body in an autopsy, and sometimes even that, they're not dead. So, and that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing.
Going through here, so it's like okay. No. They're talking about what would the smoothie taste like? Does it taste like iron? And Ed Brewer says copper like pennies.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Ugh.
And like liver, if anybody's ever had liver and onions.
Yeah, but with a lot more blood.
A little rubbery.
Ugh. Yeah. Yeah.
The ending they gave the Samantha arc was so depressing, sad, and unfulfilling. Tell us how you really feel, Apple Crow.
Yeah, Dana Michael says, just let William and all his similarly affected friends start a whole new X-Files universe without Mulder or Scully, because it's got to be both of them, not one or the other. Yep, definitely.
Yeah, we've already gone down that road. We don't want to go down that road again. And I don't know how many people would actually watch. I mean, the ratings went down. I think they spiked up again after they came back from the Olympics and stuff. But they had gone way down, like lowest rated X-Files episodes ever. But obviously there was a rally because it didn't say season finale. I think that's a big deal. I noticed that too. I guess Dennis mentioned people were talking about that in the chat, but I actually had that on my notes. I'm like, ooh, they said season finale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where they go with this. And like we said, Chris Carter needs to be just attached as executive producer and not have anything to do there with actual writing of the episodes.
Yep. And Apple Crow has to get one in.
Yeah.
How do I really feel? Force Awakens was garbage. and then Ed Brewer, hot garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really, yeah. Oh, we can't go off on that. That'd be another hour. This is the X-Files.
This is the X-Files.
We've got Friday night for that.
So where would you like to see this series go, Gary?
Oh, I would like to see it end at this point. Unless they're going to come back with Ben Edlund, like bring Ben Edlund in to do a series of the X-Files, or some big name talent that's established and good and knows genre television. I would say I hope we get a really good episode next week and call it a series. It's cool. They have done nothing to take away from my enjoyment of it in the 90s. So it's not like Last Jedi. It didn't kill the franchise for me. It did add to it. There's a couple episodes that I thought it definitely added to. So it didn't do any harm to the series at all. To continue it in the Fox Mulder Dana Scully universe, without one of them again, that will tarnish it again. So,
for me, I think they need to actually acknowledge what happened at the end of last season and not just have it be a vision that William beamed into her head, and acknowledge, because there's been a lot of weirdness this season associated with the way that ended, the way last season ended, and time jumps and weird stuff that's happened here and there. And I don't know if they purposely put that in or what, or we're going to find out next week, of course. But yeah, I'm agree with you on this. It needs to end. It just needs to end in a nice way.
You got what you could out of this built-in fan base, and it's been eroding, and you will just erode it further, and then the brand will be dead. So if you stop it here, and then 10 years from now, have somebody else come in, and Chris Carter can be like the Gene Roddenberry and just kind of, guide a little bit, but like step back and let other people run it.
Yeah.
Then you can bring it back. And I mean, a good decade, but like, just end it now. It's good. It's cool. If you end it with a good episode next week, I'll be happy with the season. I'll be right on. Cool.
Apple Crow says Sam Raimi does a season of X-Files, Ben Edlund does season 4 of Ash, and then Doc Hammer and Jackson Public do a season of The Tick.
Okay. That sounds awesome. That sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would work. And then Ghostworld says FA tells a story and does it completely enough. Force Awakens. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Never mind.
We can't have that argument here. We're talking about the X-Files. But it is similar to like just bringing old franchises back. And, it's rare when it's pulled off well. Mad Max, I mean, recasted and did it so well. Ash vs. Evil Dead did it perfectly for the first 2 seasons. That was perfect. So, I mean, it can be done. It can be done, but you got to take your materials seriously, and not just be.
And you can also bring back the old cast and still have it be fresh. Even if the old cast had gotten tired of the characters they played, it's far enough along. If it's far enough along, and you have a good take on it, they'll be happy to go back and do that character again. And,
the season 10 felt like a Fox really just backed up the Brinks truck. For them, and then they decided to take it seriously this year. They're like, oh, let's do it again. And it's weird that they took a 2-year break. I don't know why. They're not filmed particularly cinematically, and they filmed them very recently, so it must have been a scheduling thing. Gillian Anderson was doing American Gods, so that probably had something to do with it.
I think it's down in New Zealand that they filmed American Gods, so that might have been also
I have no idea where they filmed it.
Yeah. And Dana Michael says, aren't science fiction shows about young people all the rage? Do William in his situation, Mulder without Scully is just torture.
Yep. Yeah, if you want to pull William in, but I don't know who's playing William, and I don't know if he's got charisma. The kid they have shown, I mean, I don't even remember him, so I need to see him act. Yeah, and we'll see. We'll see with that one. But I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think let's just stick a fork in it? It's done. I think so.
Yeah, Gillian Anderson is an American God, is what Dana Michaels says. Yes, she is.
She is. I don't know. I don't know what I liked her better as, Lucille Ball or David Bowie. Shit, that was so cool.
Oh man. So what else you got on there? What are you thinking of this? What do you think overall of this episode, I should say?
Overall, I liked it. It wasn't great, but it was, I'd say, the fourth best episode this season.
Second best for me. I really liked last week's episode. The Mr. Chuckletee thing just kind of stuck with me for a while there. And I take that back. Third best, because I really like the really weird one with the fake.
The Lost Art of Forehead Sweat.
Yes, the Lost Art of Forehead Sweat. That was just a fun one. And
I think that would have fit better in, like I said, a season of not. It was all tongue in cheek and just it was imaginary monsters of the week. We didn't get a bunch of, they finally went supernatural on us last week. That's what everybody responded so well. Did you see people were going nuts.
Oh yeah.
So there's still love for the X-Files. After last week's episode, people were going nuts. And I think they saw that. And I think that might've changed the whole season finale. And because actually, if it's going to be a season finale, they do want to announce it because it boosts your ratings like crazy. To say that it's, a series finale. Saying this is the very last X-Files ever, they would get crazy ratings.
They would also hype it up, and they wouldn't set it, at the last, was it the week before last of March? They would save that for like a sweeps week or something like that.
Yeah, instead, here's what they're going to probably do. I think they're going to get Gillian Anderson back, and they'll set up an ending to do like another 5 or 6 episodes tops, and then that'll be it.
Or maybe a movie.
I don't know. Not in the theaters. I don't think they're going to do that again. I think it would be like maybe a TV movie, but they won't go in theaters again. No, they won't try that.
Okay. DJ Bowman. Yeah, I would pay to see that one. The Winchester boys meet Mulder and Scully.
See, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, because I think this week's episode, they're meeting the Scooby-Doo gang. It's all animated.
That's rad. I love that. I might have to watch that one.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching that one.
Is that how far we've gone with Supernatural? They got to meet Scooby-Doo. That's so hilarious.
They've gone meta. They went meta a couple times. So
what the hell? I'm going to watch that one for sure.
Yeah. Do you guys think, as Apple Crow, do you guys think that if they did 4 episodes a year, they could actually keep fresh life in the series for a while and keep the interest of the principals?
I don't know. For a few years.
I don't know.
I don't know.
If they did, it just needs to be 2 years tops, and just kind of really do an ending to it. Have an ending in sight, then I could see them doing it. And do like 2 miniseries, if you will.
Yeah, if they were going to come back and do like, that's what they left it really ambiguous at the end of season 10. We didn't know if we were. I'm like, is that how they're ending the X-Files? Like, nobody said we're getting another season. They didn't announce it for like a year. So I had just kind of assumed like they really wanted to end it weird. Okay, cool. Right on. I can kind of respect that. But they continued it like 2 years later. So I don't think they know what they want to do. And I think that's clear. If they wanted to come back and actually like, let's do short series, but let's do them every year for like 3 years. And I don't know what Duchovny's doing. They're probably busy. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think they'll get them to commit to it. So
that's all he's doing. He's just watching porn. That's all. But who isn't?
Not me. Not me.
Ghost World says maybe the real hardcore filers, but the average viewer is not going to watch 4 episodes and then still remember or care for all of that empty to come back and just wait for 4 more.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I do. I did. I don't even think the hardcore X-Files or whatever they're called are going to do that anymore. I think it's
Xphilia.
There you go. Yeah, I think it's done, man. I just think it's done. It's cool that we got some good episodes out of it. We just end on this note, and it'd be great. You'd be fine. I don't know how into it I would be. If Scully's not there, I'm out. I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, I think the operative term, it's called blood from a stone, I think is what it is. Is that what?
Blood from a turnip?
Yeah, blood from a turnip. Yeah.
Blood from a turnip. So they should end the series with Fox in a room with Fox in a room with an interrogation table. And they bring in a hooded figure. They pull off the hood, and it's J.K. Simmons and saying, well, this is disappointing. Cut to black. Right on. Yes. Especially, when you have a counterpart out there being basically kind of an X-Files. I mean, that's what I wanted out of the X-Files. What Counterpart is doing right now in tone, that's what I wanted out of the X-Files. And you could have done that. You had all the budget in the world. You have your main cast back. They seem really into it. But Chris Carter is not capable. He has not written much since the X-Files left. I think he got a lot of mileage out of his writing room. I think he was a good idea man. And like none of his side stuff took off after that. So I don't think he really developed as a writer.
And it's kind of disappointing too, because I mean, Millennium was so good. had so much potential.
It was. That was a good
just
show.
No one watched it.
Yep. I really liked Millennium.
Yeah. And and it was suitably creepy too. I mean, I still remember a few episodes that stick with me to today.
So. Yeah, I would love for them to end it on like a respectable cliffhanger. Yeah, like you don't end the X-Files with a definitive answer. That's always, I know people wanted that, and I was never down with that. I was like, no. I don't want them to answer shit. The whole part of that is like mystery. Life is a mystery. Mulder and Scully, look into the stuff nobody believes, nobody wants to believe, and that's a big difference. And the mysteries of life, because they are out there. So they definitely are. Unless you want to be a boring old skeptic. Boring.
I would love to see a Kang and Kodos show up at the end there.
A what?
Kang and Kodos from The Simpsons, the two space aliens that always come on Earth.
Yeah.
And along with Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and have them getting ready to take over the Earth, and that's how you end it.
And see, that's probably how they would end it, in some cutesy way. And that's kind of, I get where you're coming. I don't think it'd be very funny, and I don't think the X-Files fans would find it funny at all.
No, they wouldn't at all. Apple Crow says, "Did you guys ever watch The Nowhere Man?" I did. I watched the first 3 seasons of it, and then it started going nowhere, so I stopped.
Yeah, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy right there. Yeah. Calling your show Nowhere Man. It's going nowhere, man. Did you like it? I don't know. Was it good?
It was good. It was good. The beginning of it had promise. And then I know the showrunners changed after season 2. And that's when it just kind of went. And then it was gone shortly thereafter.
There you go. How long ago was it on? Did I ever hear the show?
In the 90s.
Oh, it was in the 90s?
Yeah.
Early 90s?
Yeah, about 93. This is back when CW was called... God, what was their other?
It was UPN.
UPN, yeah. Back when it was UPN. And yeah, Bruce Greenwood was in it. He was the guy. He's the guy who played Kennedy during the Cuban Missile Crisis movie. That movie about the Cuban Missile Crisis.
300 hours, 30 hours, something like that.
30 days. 30 days. Yeah. He's a great actor actually now. And then it was when he was starting out. It was just kind of like, eh. But yeah, it was good. It was a lot of fun.
Early 90s, I was really busy.
Yeah. Well, actually, you would have liked it because it was very X-File-ish. As a guy who has his entire life kind of wiped away. He was a reporter, and supposedly had some film that he had taken pictures of something he didn't know what, and because of this, they basically wipe him from existence. And they're trying to hunt him down to kill him so they can get the film. And of course, he's on the run and has no past, if you will, or no ID. That's where the Nowhere Man thing comes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting. No, I was way too busy just doing lots of drugs and stuff. So I was way too busy for television. I don't remember anything, so I might have watched the whole damn series. Not remember.
You might have. Probably watched
no idea.
Yeah, I remember this.
I have a black spot in my life between a couple of years.
I thought it was a fever dream.
Yeah.
Should we wrap it up here?
Or? We'll wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't we take care of some business?
Sure. I'll take care of some business. We have a website. This is where we plant all of our videos and audio podcasts. It's nerdrotic.com. The reason I started it because it used to feed iTunes, but I actually use it as an actual website now. We are also on iTunes. We are on fm.player. You can find the link on nerdrotic.com on our homepage. All of our links are on the upper right, and then below that is our live broadcast schedule. Yes, we schedule our live broadcasts, and we're usually on time within 15 to 20 minutes or so on average. We also do the Twitters. Dennis is at DeForce, DAFORCE. I'm at Nerdrotics. Please follow us. If you haven't subscribed to us, please subscribe to us and ring that bell. We really appreciate your time. And if you have been watching us and you're already subscribed, thank you. As always, you guys are great. We have a Patreon that's got 3 tiers. I'll buy that for $1 tier, which you support just our podcast, and that goes towards content. You also get to make suggestions and requests for videos we'll do on Patreon only and on the YouTube channel. We have a $5 tier where you get 3 Comic Outpost exclusive comics from the comic store I used to own, and you also get the previous tiers. You get to suggest videos. We have a $15 tier where you get a loot crate type box, which is called What's in the Box, and you get some action figures, you get some comic books, and you also get to suggest videos. And you part of the Patreon is that we haven't done it yet. We haven't charged anybody yet, but you're going to get exclusive content, a lot of weird stuff from my old Comic Outpost days, and some live streams. We're going to be also doing commentary. We're going to be covering the Venture Brothers soon. We're going to be doing a review of VHS Vault, or no, this one's a DVD Vault, review of Solomon Kane. So we're going to do kind of like B movies that we love. Bubba Hotep will be the one after that. And
Nice.
then you guys can start suggesting away, and we will review whatever you want. That's it. I mean, if you're a patron, you get to put your name, within reason. I mean, we can only review so many movies, but yeah, like that'll be part of it. And the tiers will be changing over time as well. But all of your money funds our content. And we both have day jobs, so we're not going to be quitting our jobs or doing this full time like ever. But this is the greatest hobby in the world, and I have an awesome family and an awesome wife who allows me to do this as much as I want. It's I've been in a couple bands before, and this is way better than being in a band. For one, my bandmate is way more agreeable than my bandmates were, and shows up all the damn time, which is good.
Who's that?
I don't know. John. No, just kidding. Love you, John. John's at TPK Games on Twitch, by the way. If you're wondering where John is, he's doing his D&D thing over there, which he has been planning for quite some time. He'll pop back once in a while, so he's not gone forever. And then the lovely and talented Melissa Wagner will be joining us next week. Who's Melissa Wagner? It's my wife. So she's a big X-Files fan. So she will be here for the finale.
Nice.
If you want to see her, she was she did the first and third episode. She comes in when she has time. Because I'm busy podcasting, so she has to do all the stuff around the house.
She needs to make the money.
Just kidding. Oh yeah, she got to make that money, sugar mama. All right. Yeah. So that's it. Oh, we got some more comments here.
They're talking about your beard.
My beard.
It
needs
yes.
to be, yeah.
You need what was it? Beauty sleep for the beard is what Apple Crow said, or Ghost World.
No, I just kind of, you know what, Apple Crow, I just kind of rolled in from work. Man, I got home, I ate and watched the X-Files and podcast. I said hi to my family really quick. I had zero time. So yeah, no, it's all right. It's all right. I didn't have time to comb it. Sorry, guys. But that's the way it is. You guys saw our older podcast, right? When it was like down to like here.
You scared Ben Edlin with it.
Yeah, I did.
Just don't kill me.
Yeah, it was huge. I was looking back at some of the old ones. I'm going, damn, that thing was long. Holy crap. ZZ Top, like yeah. So yeah, let's thank for the chat.
Yes.
Here we got DJ Bowman, Dana Michaels, Apple Crow, Ghost World, Ed Brewer,
Coral
Davis for the super chat. Thank you so much.
Yes, we got Penn Farm Girl as well. We said Apple Crow already, and Edward Brewer.
Yeah, I got Edward Brewer in there, and Penn Farm Girl, and that's it. Yeah, that's all. The usual suspects in the chat. It's a Wednesday night. It's late everywhere else. It's only 10:21 here. So thank you everybody for joining the chat. Thank you everybody who's watching this when it's a video. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you next Wednesday for the X-Files finale with Melissa Wagner. Dennis, take us out, man.
People of Earth, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Good night, everybody.